Yeah. If people couldn't let the circle still going round.
Yeah, just wait until that stops out.
Okay.
And then I can see if you're coming on here. So if I can hear you.
Still going around.
Yeah, just wait. It'll just take a while to come in. Yes.
Oh, it's gone off now. I hope, like, we're just doing a kind of sound check because that seems to be our weak point. All the time, every week, I need a sound. But if someone can let me know, is it coming through? Oh, good, yeah, right. Okay, well, to be quite honest with you, I kind of do this with. This is probably the most difficult podcast I've done so far, and the reason being, obviously, you've all been seeing what posts I've been putting up lately about Sean Atwood. But this, I'm just going to say, basically, this is ever since I've been brought into this, for whatever reason, I've observed quite a lot. I've seen quite a lot, and the direction that certain things seem to be taking is worrying to me. Yeah, I came into this, yeah, for the sole reason is it really matters to me, and I said I will be exposing basically child exploitation, everything you could think of, including SRA. And it seems that it's okay for you to do that as long as you're doing it to the right people. Which is why, sort of, where Sean Atwood was concerned, I have been privately in this team expressing my worries. Yeah. On the first Soho podcast I did with John Wedger, you can hear me on the very, very beginning. I was talking to Sean Atwood's cameraman, James, and I was having a conversation with him, and a bit of that conversation got picked up. And you'll hear me saying, I know another one of his guests, all you'll hear me saying is he was lying. That conversation was basically between me and James, and I was expressing. At that time, I was a subscriber to Sean, so I liked Sean. I liked his work. I thought he was great at first. And yeah, so I was basically saying to this James, two guests of Sean Atwood's that I know were liars. And one was a guy, I'm sure it was Lawson or something, who said that he'd worked in Soho for 20 years as a doorman in the clubs. There is not a chance that man worked in Soho for 20 years in the clubs without anyone knowing him. And that doesn't include me. I sent it to quite a few of, like, my friends from Soho. One of them sent back, what was he, the broom sweeper? Yeah. So that one, 100% like. And then on the first podcast, Two with a Brew, I expressed my opinions about his other guest, Dave Courtney. That reasons will become clearer a little bit later. Now, when I did this first podcast, there was a mention of a Netflix, I'm not sure, documentary film, whatever it was. I wasn't too aware of it. And I want to say right here and now, if any footage of me goes up on Netflix with this SRA thing that you're doing, yeah, I am publicly saying, because I don't own the rights to it, yeah, but I'm just saying that pedoflix, not Netflix, pedoflix, let's get this right, yeah, I have advocated for what a cesspit that streaming thing is, yeah, and basically, I'm not going to go along with I don't want no footage of me in Soho. I do not want no footage of me, and that's not because I've got to worry about it. Because everything I'm saying is true. But I don't want. I do not want to be any part of any Netflix documentary or whatever. Mainly because I truly believe it's a sort of it's not a sort of, it's a psyop. Yeah. And if you think that oh God, she's going a bit out there. In the 80s, when satanic ritual abuse started to surface it was originally out of the Franklin cover-up. I have put so much stuff up about the Franklin cover-up. Yeah, it was so disgusting what was happening to the children. But when it started to leak out, there was something that was called satanic panic, and it basically managed to make people just think Satanism was nothing but a hoax. Until, up until I'd say 2 years, about 2 years, SRA is starting to filter back out into the masses. The reason being, SRA is definitely true. There is SRA without a shadow. But what worries me is that this Netflix documentary was being made with Sean Atwood or through Sean Atwood in some way. Um, that, and they was doing also they was doing one. Sean Atwood was doing one on Jimmy Savile. Yeah, and I don't think it's been released out yet. I know it was being edited because I've had communication with James, the cameraman, and he said that he was just editing it, so that'll be going out soon. So that's going out with the blessing of Sean Atwood, something to do with Sean Atwood. Now, I've been going over for the past few days. I've been going over a lot. Yeah. Now, when I done my first podcast with John in Soho, I had also just watched the part 2 of the Calais I'm being trafficked and drug trafficked and I can't remember what the other thing was, right? And this is what really baffles me. There are photos on part 2. Part 1 was just like, it's just so full of holes, but I can't be bothered. But part 2 is probably, for me, the most revealing, but we'll go into part 3 in a minute. And I'm coming from a point of where I know about sex trafficking. I know how things work. Yeah. I'm not coming from another researcher's point of view. I know how shit works. Right, so on the beginning of the part 2, they show photographs from a phone that Callie admits the slashes on her back. I think it was 2 years ago, which was really, to me, you're telling me that they've let someone who's being drug trafficked and whatever keep her phone for 2 years. Yeah, when they monitor everything that she does, but they let her gather evidence on her phone. That does not make sense to me. And please do not think that I'm going at Kelly, because I'm not. Yeah. I personally see quite a lot of a little bit. There's some programming going on there, handlers programming. But that aside, I'm just sticking to actual things that were said that I absolutely know would not happen. But she showed a photograph of herself in a hospital bed, and she had dark hair, and it was like she was having a blood transfusion. Now, this is a problem like that I can't get around. That girl who was lying in that hospital bed, I know from Soho. And not only do I know, it wasn't just a passing encounter. She was out there for a good few months and always looked so sickly. Yeah. And the reason why I would like to, I remember her so well is because me being me, you know, she looked really ill. How she looked in that hospital bed was how this girl looked. And I was talking, I was saying to her, look, you're all right. And you know, and she told me that she was a haemophiliac, and that every time she had a menstrual period, yeah, she had to go into hospital to have a blood transfusion. Now, if that, and I've checked with my other friends as well who remember her. It wasn't just me who remember her. There are other people who remember her. And if that is Callie, if that is you, Callie, you do know me, yeah, and you know me well enough to know that I'm not chatting shit, yeah. But this is not about Callie, yeah. Callie is a creation of Sean. Without Sean, Kelly would have had no platform. Yeah. So I don't understand how people do try and put it on her, because if that is the same girl that I knew from Soho, she'd jump at a chance to you know, to do whatever. And if it is her, she'd not scrub up well, mate. That much I can tell you. Really, really scrubs up well. But over the now knowing that I know, obviously, I'm looking at his. Oh my God, I'm forgetting the most important thing. Sorry, because this is really difficult for me. I just want you to all know that. Yeah, I'm not doing this to get to take people down. I'm doing this because this is not my first rodeo with a psyop. Yeah, let me know. Over the years, I have unwittingly ended up seeing a few, being involved in a few, but not knowing that I'm involved in one, which I think is going on right here. But yeah, that's a thing. But anyway, at the end of the second Cali podcast, from 30 minutes, it's 36 minutes. Yeah. And no one else would have picked, because I had to go over it again to have picked up on exactly what was being said at the end of that 30. Right, if you go to 30 minutes, and then you will basically hear a question. Sean says there's a question come in saying, why doesn't Callie go into witness protection? And Callie answers, no, that's where they get most of the girls anyway. It was either half of the girls or most of the girls. Very awkward pause. Very, very awkward pause. And then she goes on to say that some of her clients, she's very well aware, are interlinked with podcast guests that Sean has had on. And Sean, under his breath, basically says, no names, no names. Yeah. And then he proceeds to say on the podcast, these guests are judges MP and reels off like View. And then podcast, that was finished. So then you go on to part 3. And in part 3, Sean at the beginning asks Callie, says, you've been talking about, he says, some of my viewers are asking about satanic ritual abuse. You have recently told me that one of your clients was a vampire. Ha 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 ha. And she then goes on to talk about SRA being classed as an SRA survivor. Now, I was not aware up until 2 days ago that she even had spoken about SRA. She's got knowledge of certain things that go on that could make her sound quite credible, but it made me wonder, number one, why it took 3 podcasts to come up. Yeah, any satanic ritual abuse. Also on part 2, she talks about she wants to be an advocate for child sex trafficking and sex trafficking. So they're trying to basically put this woman forward in a position of power to have access to trafficked. It was only trafficked, and then all of a sudden, on the 3rd podcast, he asked about SRA. Now, this is weird to me because I know that he has got a deal with Netflix to be doing to be the springboard that launches this SRA. Yeah, and I say SRA not because I'm demeaning it, because it's Sean's SRA. Yeah, but I started to think, hang on, there's a bit of that. Also, podcast 3 is a blackmail tape, and anybody who thinks any different is a fool. Listen to it. It starts off with the SRA, and then it starts launching into fetishes. Yeah. Now, these fetishes will be, they're not fetishes for the masses, let's put it that way. And there will be clients of Callie's who have got these fetishes. And like he said in the thing, judges, MPs, she said yes. So basically, that's a subliminal little, because I know how these people work and how they'll put it out there, and what they do. Oh yeah, and then all they're talking about is basically people's fetishes after the SRA introduction, and then you look at podcast 4. Podcast 4 starts off with Sean telling the people that they have had multiple intelligence agencies contacting them. And he says that he's mailing off this, I don't even know what the hell it was. He was saying he was mailing off something to the criminal injury board over these black eye photographs that Callie says that were given to her in track. That I don't know. I am just going on what I see, and it doesn't take a genius to kind of work out that Sean's fake. Yeah, and not only is he fake, he definitely has connections to do with intelligence agencies. And I believe, in my humble wisdom, I mean, I'm just a crackpot from Soho, remember, that Sean is was solely set up to be disinfo. Yeah, how that man got access to schools and school children is a very, very, very worrying thing indeed. Yeah, telling people all his story that and the Mexican cartel that he was involved with allegedly is MS-13. Um, the Arizona ecstasy ring, when he was saying that his rival was Sammy the Bull. Well, Sammy the Bull has actually come out and told you what he thinks of Sean Atwood. But there is a very big flaw in Sean's story because it wasn't even Sammy the Bull who was running the ecstasy ring. Sammy the Bull took the rap for his son and his daughter. How I know this is obviously over the years you know about Sammy the Bull. You know who he was. He was never the head of the Gambino crime family. He was second in command, which makes him, yes, a straight up killer. He then did flip on John Gotti, but I will say that only after he found out that he was going to get like there was a hit on him from John Gotti, and he spent a year in jail before he flipped. I know this because I used to watch Mob Wives, and his daughter Karen Barano was in Mob Wives, and she basically admits that her father took the rap for her and her brother. Now Sean clearly states that Sammy the Bull's son, who he had its some interaction with, told him that Sammy the Bull had put a hit on Sean through his son. Yeah. So I just wanted to clear that little that little thing up. It's and also the fact that it wasn't just ecstasy. He was just it was crystal meth. you know, and to actually believe that Wildman would hold off. If Sammy the Bull wanted to off Sean Atwood, it did. I mean, it's a no-brainer, people. But it just, I believe that Sean was provided with a backstory, put here for disinformation, to basically build up the SRA to a fever pitch so that Netflix can put it out there and then pull it to pieces. And we get it's it's the updated version of the Satanic Panic again. Yeah, I say this with quite, I actually don't know what guests are credible and what guests are not. But I would actually say that it's very irresponsible for Netflix to go ahead and make this SRA documentary without checking anybody's backgrounds, testimonies. This Netflix film involves people that I've been involved with, people that I've truly stood beside, and it's hard for me to do this because I want to believe the best. I want to believe that I'm not right, but I'm doing this podcast because I believe I know I'm right. Yeah, and if I don't do this and this steamrolls, I'm not going to be. I've never been the girl that don't say anything. But it's hard. Yeah, but I believe that anybody who's come through Sean Atwood to do with SRA needs a little bit, if there's no problems and you're truthful, there should be no problem in providing just something that makes people think that that you should be the poster person for SRA. Yeah. And to have a platform like Netflix will be like, it's going to go out to the masses. Yeah. And I believe launched off the back of it is going to be helplines being managed by people who've gone on Sean Atwood and gone on to become posters for certain things. And I've met victims and I've met survivors. And I would like to say that anybody with even common sense, without psychology degrees, anything like that. Oh God, what was I just about to say? What was I just saying? I've lost my train of thought. Oh yes, I've lost. And basically, things being set up in this person's name, who says that they are qualified to deal with SRA survivors. Absolutely, in the week up to Halloween, took poor, like, Lissy. I've actually met Lissy. She is such a sweet, beautiful, spirited lady. But when you meet Lissy, you know that Lissy's been left damaged from this, from SRA. Yeah. And to parade her around like a bloody circus monkey in the lead up to Halloween, which Halloween brings back the worst memories for anything that's happened to them on Halloween, will be the worst memories they contain. And to put an SRA survivor, engineer her to go on a 3-hour podcast on Halloween is, in my opinion, reckless and cruel. Yeah. No decent person or humane person would do that to another. An SRA survivor would, in my opinion, would never do that to another survivor. Yeah, and do not think I'm just coming up with this now. I did actually contact Lissy and say to her, please stop. Yeah, I know her. I see what it does to her when she's triggered. I've seen what these people have done to her, and for that to be so publicly out there by someone who's meant to care about survivors, I care. I'm not a survivor, and I care about Lissy. And what I saw disgusted me. Absolutely disgusted me. Which goes on to other behaviours from the security team. I feel that because this person put my private messages that I sent, not on Facebook, on WhatsApp, yes, he put them out there. He's put them on his post. But he put a message that I sent because in reaction to a public post that absolutely was disgusting. It was the Lou Dickens loves cock post. I was told that I'm part of a team. Yeah. Now, to be quite honest with you, I'm part of a team that I don't know this team. I do not know anything about this team, right? But I'm told I'm part of a team, so you know, fair enough. And I was told that Lou was part of our team. So Lou Dickens helped me set up my own YouTube channel, which I had asked for help from other people and really didn't get it. So I thought, right, I don't know Lou. I know who her grandfather is. Basically, a true campaigner, a man who was true. So obviously, I'm gonna, his granddaughter. I had no contact with. I didn't know her, but I've contacted her and asked her could she give me a hand, and she went above and beyond to help me, which I didn't make public to anybody. I didn't feel that I needed to. And then there was a campaign from members of the team. So I saw this post and put my opinion as a member of the team. And my opinion was, and this is I will say, the security team guy, I'm not even saying names, you know who you are, right? I put up, this is what he didn't expect you to be so disrespectful to a woman. Kind of shocked me. Didn't think you was like that. Don't matter what you think of Lou. She has helped me out. I think it was out of order. This is the reply that I received from a guy who is putting himself forward as a protector of women. I think you best talk to Jeanette before you start chatting your shit to me. You got no idea what that cunt has done. Help what? Help what? Give you a little shout out or something. Wake up, she's a wrong un, and everyone agrees with me. I'm just the only one with a set of bollocks to say it. I stand by what I say. She ain't no woman, that's a dirty self-proclaimed slut. Now, bearing in mind, I still have no idea what the hell. I knew that there was a problem. There was a little argument between her and Jeanette, but that's what I knew. I left it, did not reply. So you don't even check on Jeanette. Proves my point exactly. Where have your morals gone, if you had any to begin with? A true survivor gets crushed by that scabby cunt, and you side with it because she promoted your show once. Take a long hard look at yourselves. All I see these days are a bunch of fakes, right back at you, who stab each other in the back. A disgrace in my opinion. So fuck anyone who's got a problem with what I'm going to expose. Wait, still waiting. Absolutely unfucking believable. I'll show everyone what disrespectful is and what's fucking out of order. Just a bunch of con artists is all I see. Shallow, fame-hungry, disgusting people who wouldn't know the first thing about being human or decent. I couldn't give two fucks what you think. Basically, I said, that's when I just said, think you're a bad man, fuck off, you prick. Ha ha, says sad act. There is a reason why I'm reading this out. Ha ha, says you, sad act. See you for exactly who you are. Fame hungry is all. No clue at all. You're a fraud too. Disgusting people, and the world agrees with me. Bunch of dossers is all you are. Who the fuck are you anyway? Heartless, self-centered pieces of shit. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're a disgrace, an absolute disgrace. Fuck you. The world will know what you lot are like. Just a bunch of fame-hungry dossers trying to convince yourselves you are decent people. Don't make me laugh. Birds of a feather flock together. So do. Makes so much sense now. Support from Lou, more like trading war stories. Proves my point, doesn't it? Filthy people pretending to be decent jokers. But the reason why, I mean, there is absolutely so much more filth, but this is very chilling. That Lou is a dirty, evil person, if only you knew. You're all going to look very fucking stupid soon, just like you did when you tried to destroy Sean Atwood's reputation. Absolutely shocking. I'm not in the wrong one bit. You're also below me, it's unreal. Crack on with your videos because that's all you care about. Not for the fact that Lou is responsible for destroying one of the most important people John had, and you didn't even check to see if she was okay. Right, and basically, look, I kid you, there is so much more, but I think you can get the gist of it, right? All I was saying, I don't think you should be putting stuff out in public like that. You know, infighting happens, fair enough. It stays in. You don't then go and put up public posts about a member who's we're a team. That's what I was led to believe. We're a team. And then afterwards, the behaviour that I saw, basically desecrating Lou's career, yeah, destroying, you know, any calling her dickhead Dickens all over the place, yeah, that is not, and believe you me, I'm pretty sure Lou will have something to say about the messages that she received, yeah, which basically the security team, if you differ in any opinion about this Jeanette, but yeah, Jeanette, that's what you get. Yeah, you know, it's just ridiculous. Yeah, but it was certain behaviours of people that have shocked me and disappointed me. You know, and what else was I going to? Do you know what? I have really got quite a lot more to say, but I think you know, I don't. But I do actually. If I'm missing anything, I truly believe that Sean Atwood is running some sort of sex trafficking um, blackmail operation. With you know, you just look at his first guest, Dave Courtney. And also when he did that, sorry, I needed to say this. When Sean done his first interview with Dave Courtney, it was in Dave Courtney's house. Common knowledge, that house contains a sex dungeon. Not grassing anybody up, it's common knowledge, he boasts about it. But he says he rents it to 2 prostitutes. Also has a barge boat that his little bitch boy, Prindon, he's the one who does the business. But really, in all honesty, I would just like to know, how did Sean have an introduction to Dave Courtney? Because he's up to his fucking neck in it. He's just, I said what I thought about him on the first. I don't even have to say, yeah, but he's also false. So if the first guest is false, I would seriously, before any Netflix documentaries made claiming that these are the true voices, yeah, I do think it would be a very good idea to do some, you know, fact checking before you're going to push people forward as a poster girl for or poster people, yeah. And I do not know how I ended up in this situation. I really don't. And the bottom line, it comes from I was only trying to help my friend. Yeah. And I think I just quickly got brought into, you know, right about now, I just feel like I've been played, and I just feel like I was just used as an asset. And anybody who knows me knows I I'm not scared. Yeah, no security teams or posts being put up about, oh, your trick or treat, that you know, your little subliminal threats. Yeah, but there are also other. It's not just about the Netflix. It's not just about the money. This is just about something build, like it reminds me of Childline from the when that first got set up. Yeah. That was set up just to information gatherers, bring the survivors, bring the victims. They can trust us. We can help them. We're fellow survivors. We're fellow. Well, to be quite honest with you, before you put yourself up on anybody up on the platform and going over his guest list, it's people who have careers launched off of Sean. Really, really needs going over. Where Sonia's concerned, because I know he's fucked her over as well, but where Sonia's concerned, I don't think for 1 minute that she would have been involved in the exploitation, the trafficking, the other shenanigans that were going on. And also, I just want to point out that I've read the book that Sean recommends. I read it in prison quite a long time ago. It's called The 48 Laws of Power. Yeah, so I've read it so I can see. And when I say, if anybody wants to know how psyops work, that's the textbook. It's called 48 Laws of Power. Yeah, but I just want to put out, I just feel like I need to put it out there as what I think is going on, because it's very worrying to me that there's there's things being set up that are going to be damaging, I believe. And I don't think I'm the only person that believes it. And when you do ask a legitimate question, the word troll comes to mind. So obviously, I will now be declared blocked and a troll. And I'm not doing this to troll anyone. I'm not doing this to bring anybody down. I'm doing this because it's a bloody right thing to do. Yeah. But what I will say from my point is anybody can ask me anything, mate. I don't have to fear anybody's questions. And the reason why I read out private, and these private messages that I read out tonight were private messages. The person put them out in public. Yeah, I've sat on this for quite a while because I don't understand exactly what is going on, but what it's leading to is worrying for me. Yeah, because I'm in this to expose. I don't know, to do my best to expose what I can, and I think I've been doing a bloody good job not up till now, because this is just. I just need it out there on record to say that if this Netflix SRA stuff goes ahead, yeah, it's not the people that are being put forward for it are very questionable. Their stories, they're testimonies, because I'm not saying that anyone's lying, yeah. I'm just saying that there should be more than a Sean Atwood interview, or anyone's interview, without, and it be taken as absolute, complete, and utter truth. Yeah, because it's going out to the masses. Yeah, and then if it goes out to the masses, and then they're going to pull it apart. And I just want to be the one. I've got the platform. I'm not just on Facebook. I have got the platform, and I do believe that it's about money. It's about egos. It's about finding victims and survivors. It's about launching a career off the back of just SRA. And it's not, abuse is abuse. The SRA abuse but abuse of children is abuse of children. And for me, I just think this is going off in a direction that I'm definitely not on board with. I can assure you of that. I've had no. I have expressed all my views privately to everybody, and I was kind of, even before I was getting the dodgy messages, I was kind of like told not to attack Sean, really, because he's a he's done so much to expose SRA and children. No, no, he ain't exposed jack shit, to be quite honest with you. And as for going and knocking on Ghislaine Maxwell's door, well, if he'd have done a little bit more research, he could have gone and knocked on Henrietta Conrad's door, who I exposed, yeah, lived 3 doors away from Ghislaine Maxwell. Could have just knocked on that door, couldn't you? But oh no, you had to knock on the, there's definitely some sort of psyop going on. Pretty sure I can't be the only one to have noticed things, but there is a Netflix incentive, and also, oh yeah, Callie's pedo hunting clothes were really, really selling, because where are all the paedophiles that she's been hunting, Sean? Who are the guests that she said were? Because if someone said that to me, I'd have picked up on that straight away. What guests? That's how you expose. Yeah. To me, it looks like your career don't really matter to you anymore. Your reputation don't really matter to you anymore, because you've got your little trafficking sideline. You've got your little blackmail sideline going on. Yeah. So it really doesn't matter to you if it's all fun and games. So I would imagine you've got quite a lot of blackmail material by now. But and I did say I was coming into this to expose it, and this is basically what I've got to say. So I think I think I'm going to go now, because I think I've really said a lot. Yeah, if you want to block me, block me. I really couldn't give two tosses. This isn't about me wanting sheep as followers either, to be quite honest with you. So if you're told to block someone, normally a good reason is that why. If you're being told to block somebody by anybody, why don't you ask why? You know. And on that note, I'm going to leave you and wait. I've got waiting for the landslide now, whatever's going to come. Yeah, but everything I said on here is true. Yeah, no hidden agendas, no nothing. I am just saying from my own personal experiences and seeing certain behaviours that, yeah, the Netflix SRA thing is not being made with any, so far as I can see, credible witnesses. And if they do want anybody as a multi, contact Aria. Yeah, contact Aria from Aria and Phoenix, and then you'll start getting a gist of who they really should. If they were truly exposing SRA, they would have known who Aria and Phoenix are. Have been campaigning for so many years. Name the schools, teachers, everything. Tried to complain, NSPCC. Who, don't forget, Countess Ive, who was the ambassador for our NSPCC, exposed on one of my podcasts, flew on Epstein's flights like 30 odd times. So